Hey everyone, I'm Kevin with Victory 4x4. In this video, we're going to be installing our dash mount in this 3rd gen Tacoma. To start off, you'll need to remove the center dash trim that you see here around the 2 air vents as well as the radio. So the outer air vents are going to come out with this, just so you're aware of that. And basically what you'll be doing is trying to catch just the back edge of the trim up in here and pull out. If you're having any trouble getting that with just your hand, you can find a plastic pry tool so that you don't damage anything as you're working with it there. But you should be able to just get behind here, apply some light pressure outward, and work your way across, popping these clips free. And then that should pop right out. Now ours did have a pre-installed aftermarket switch over on this side already that you may see a couple times throughout the video. That is also what the extra wires are over here, but you will not have those, and your trim should just pull out straight and cleanly. With that out of the way, you'll now find 2 10mm head bolts down on each side of your radio or display here. So 10mm socket, you can pull these out. It's best to work one side at a time when doing this, just so that you're not having to also hold the radio as you're installing your brackets. As for the brackets themselves, you will have a left and right, so you'll have to kind of identify that. So I have driver and passenger here. The small cutout that you see is kind of designed to wrap around the air vent tube here, and the tabs will kind of go out toward the side of the vehicle. So I'll grab the passenger side. With the passenger side bracket now identified, you can grab 2 of the M6 stainless button head bolts as well as 2 of the black nylon spacers in your bolt pack. The bolts will go through the front side of the bracket with the spacers on the back between the bracket and the mounting brackets for the radio itself here on the dash. Once you have the bolts and spacers in place, you can carefully slide this into position and begin threading in those bolts. Once you have both brackets in place, you can grab a 4mm hex, preferably with a ball end or a traditional Allen wrench, to reach in behind here and tighten these up. With both brackets fully installed, you can then take your trim and vents and kind of loosely slide these back into place. Get them lined up using the vents and a few of those tabs. And then what you'll need to do is mark each side of this bracket to identify a small cutout location for a cut that you'll have to make on each side. So for that, we're just going to put a small line about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch outside of each bracket. You can then take a tape measure and measure from the dash out to the back edge of each bracket to determine how deep to make those cuts in the trim panel. So it looks like the passenger side bracket sticks off the dash about 3/4 of an inch. The driver side is about 5/16, so we'll start out with our cutouts at 3/8 and 7/8 so that we have plenty of clearance when getting that trim panel installed. So here I can make my mark at about 7/8 on each side, and then you can be as kind of casual or critical as you wish to mark out this cutout, depending on kind of your confidence in marking and how clean you want this finished product to look. As far as marking things out, you should wind up with a couple kind of rectangular cutout marks that look similar to what I have here. One a little bit smaller over on this side, which ours had that aftermarket switch in this location, if you'll remember. So ours is going to look just a little bit different than yours might as a final result. For the actual cut, I'm going to be using an air saw that we have here at the shop. You could also easily do this with a Dremel if that's what you have available to you. Once you're happy with your mounting brackets and their cutouts up here on the dash side of things, and you've got that reassembled to this point, you can now grab your dash mount as well as the dual USB extension cable that we provide and work on wire routing. So to start things off, you'll simply grab the kind of male end and feed both of these through the front of your dash mount. And then this should, once you get it rotated into the correct orientation, snap into that rectangle cutout up here. And then using this as a guide, you can kind of place it roughly in line on your mounts. Now once you look up here, you'll see there's not really anywhere to route these wires through. Ours specifically does have a small cutout over here where you're going to be making a cutout of your own. That's something we figured out kind of during our R&D process. But with it roughly lined up on the mounts, you can see kind of how you're going to have to route the cable around and over, and then roughly where you're going to make your marks over here as well. This final cutout is not super critical since it's just going to be large enough for these wires to pass through. You do, however, want to make sure you're not damaging any of the clips or cutting into the clip locations up here on this trim panel. So basically you're going to measure over from the side of this passenger side mounting bracket, and your cutout should fall basically right between 2 and 3 inches and can be about an inch or 3/4 of an inch wide anywhere within that frame, and then come out about 3/8 of an inch from the dash here. Much like your other cuts, you will have to remove this trim panel one more time to make that. So we'll pop ours off. And with it removed, you can kind of see what I was talking about here. This one we did kind of radius just a little bit since the wires are going to pass through it, and kind of avoided some of those hard angles. But again, once this is all installed, it should be pretty static and not be moving, so you shouldn't have to worry about the wires rubbing on much there. From here, the path you choose to take with these wires as you route them through the dash is going to vary quite a bit depending on how you plan to power them and plug them in. So if you're just going to get down here and plug them in using the kind of 12-volt receptacle, you can pick up a USB power port kind of like I have here. Obviously this one's a single, so you'll need to grab a dual if you're going to plug both of these in that way, but you could find a path kind of straight down and possibly have to make a small cutout somewhere down in here. That may require some more disassembly of the dash if that's the way you're choosing to go. Another way that we like to kind of power these and plug them in is to pick up one of these small 12-volt to USB adapters. That's going to have 2 female ports here that we can plug these into, and then just kind of a conventional power and ground wire that we'll need to route basically out the cab and into the engine compartment, so we can tie that into the battery on a fused circuit. But from there, you'll be able to plug these in and just have power all the time up here on your dash accessory mount. Now in our case specifically, the truck we're working on is actually equipped with a solar charge controller that has a couple extra access ports down under the dash, basically down in the footwell close to the gas and brake pedal. So that's where we're headed with these. That's kind of the same area you would typically install something like this. You would just have to find kind of a safe place down there to keep it up out of the way where it's not going to get wet, dirty, or encounter, you know, any movement from your feet or anything as you're working the pedals. So for that, we are going to have to remove our brackets and our radio one more time. If you're watching this entire video and then attempting your install, you could kind of do this all the first time and save yourself a couple steps here, but again, none of it is too difficult. So we'll get this out of the way. Now as we get our radio removed, it's just those 4 main bolts that you had removed and reinstalled earlier for the mounting brackets. This one is an aftermarket display, so there's a little bit more going on in here than you might encounter with your factory wiring, but the concept is the same. We got to get this down and find a spot to kind of secure it while we route our new wires down through the dash. So this is obviously a pretty tight space we're working in here, but we're going to do our best to show you where we're going with these. Basically, I started by taping the 2 ends together so they're nice and tight as you feed them through. We also threw a light down on the dash to kind of try and illuminate that path and where we're trying to get to. Basically, you're going to be going under the main metal cross brace that runs horizontal across the dash and above the plastic air duct that leads down to the driver's side footwell. So as we feed these down that direction, they kind of naturally have a nice opening through there, and then you can feed most of the excess through, leaving yourself just enough that you can get this kind of lined up and installed with that radio in place, and now leaving our dash mount just kind of resting up here. With those routed correctly, we just wanted to give you a quick visual here on where you should expect them to come out. And this is where you would then need to route your 12-volt converter over to and get it tied up safely underneath the dash. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, ours are going to that solar controller. So we have a couple USB extension cables here, and we're just going to tie these two in together and then secure them up under here. So with everything up here now, you do have to just take a little bit of extra caution as you're feeding all your wires and your radio back in to make sure you're not going to pinch or damage these wires in any way. But there should be plenty of room in there for just those two additional wires. And then from here, you've already seen how these get installed. So go ahead and get both the driver and passenger side mount back in place. Then once you get your brackets in, you'll just want to pay attention as you snap your trim back in, making sure that you're holding the wires in that cutout that you made for the wire routing specifically. The last thing you want to do before you get your dash mount bolted down is find the provided edge trim. We're going to be installing this along basically just this back bottom edge here where it contacts the textured dash material out here. So ideally this would be a little bit easier to do if you have the dash mount free from the vehicle. So just before you put these wires in, obviously it can still be spun around and done here. So use that information to your advantage and get it done when it's most convenient for you. But basically you're just going to stretch this out along this edge. You could also just tape measure it and cut it out on a bench if you wanted to, but I'm just going to kind of mark it with my thumb out here. I'm just trimming it with some wire cutters. A decent pair of scissors will accomplish the same thing with this trim. And from there, you'll basically just take your thumbnail or a flat screwdriver, whatever works for you, and kind of start by spreading the end of that. And then you can just work your way along this back edge, pushing it up into place. Once fully installed, it should look something like this, and we can now spin our dash mount back around and get it lined up on our mounts here. At this point, you'll find the 4 black 1/4-20 button head bolts in your hardware pack. Those will install through the 4 holes in the top of the mount that line up with your mounting brackets. Once you have all 4 of those bolts started, you'll grab a 5/32 hex or Allen wrench and tighten them up. With that tight, your install is complete, and it's just up to you to mount your accessories in a way that suits your need. Now, if you have any questions at all about this installation or anything else we offer here at Victory 4x4, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can always email us at info@victory4x4.com or call us at 269-459-8447.